The 25-26 season has officially come to an end. And with it coming to an end, we have to look at the Ballon d'Ors now because there's no more World Cups, there's no more Champions Leagues, there's no more leagues and GAs to go up. So we have to look at the Ballon d'Or. And with the Ballon d'Or coming, I have 7 candidates who I think kind of deserves to win the Ballon d'Or. And I'm not saying that these 7 candidates will be the top 7. Obviously, the journalists will vote for different players, and a player can stick into this top 7. But these are the 7 players that I think have the strongest case to win the Ballon d'Or. And obviously, it's Harry Kane, Rodri, Mbappe, Lamine Yamal, Olise, Dembele, and Kvaratskhelia. These 7 players, I think, have the strongest case. So let's get into the first player who I think could win the Ballon d'Or, and that first player is Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe had 59 goals and 12 assists. Absolutely crazy. 71 GAs. He was the World Cup top scorer. He won the World Cup bronze ball. I looked into FIFA's website. They've already given out the silver and bronze ball. Obviously, the silver ball went to Lionel Messi, and the bronze ball went to Kylian Mbappe himself. He was the Champions League top scorer. I remember in the end of the league phase in the Champions League, he had like 8 or 9 goals. And a lot of people were saying like this guy will break Ronaldo's Champions League record, but obviously he didn't. He went out to Bayern in the quarterfinals, and then he also won the league top scorer. He was the top scorer in the main 3 competitions this season, which was obviously the World Cup, the Champions League, and the league. And that's World Cup worthy stats. That's if you made a case for Kylian Mbappe to win the to win the Ballon d'Or, you would say he was the top scorer in the World Cup, he was top scorer in the Champions League, he was top scorer in the Liga. These are all very strong cases, but he went trophyless. Kylian Mbappe went trophyless. He didn't even win the Copa del Rey. He didn't even win the Super Cup. He didn't win anything. And when we look at the 21st century, especially because my knowledge on the early 90s World Ballon d'Or isn't really there, but if we look at the 21st century, who have won the Ballon d'Or going trophyless? There's only one, and that's Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo in 2013 is it's the only year where a player has won a Ballon d'Or going absolutely trophyless. And that's the case with Kylian Mbappe now. With the likes of Ronaldo and Messi, you could say that these players are their anomalies. It's Messi and Ronaldo. Like there's the rest of the players, and then there's Messi and Ronaldo up here. You bend the rules for these players. They're all timers. They're goats. For many, it's the top 2 of all time. But is Mbappe Ronaldo? He isn't. But if you think Mbappe should win the World Cup, should win the Ballon d'Or based on being the top scorer in 3 competitions, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I'm not judging you. I think it's fair. For me personally, we'll see at the end. Michael Olise. Michael Olise had 29 goals and 34 assists, 63 GAs in the entire season for a winger. And a lot of people might say, it's the Bundesliga. Did Robin drop these stats? Did Ribery drop these stats? Did Gnabry drop these stats? Did Kingsley Coman drop these stats? Did Luis Diaz drop these stats? No, this is Michael Olise. Put some respect in his name. He won the Bundesliga. He won the Bundesliga Player of the Year. He was the top assist in the World Cup. He was the top assist in the Champions League. It sounds a lot like Kylian Mbappe. He was also the top assist in the Bundesliga. This is pretty much Kylian Mbappe just for assist, and he won the league. That's pretty much it. And obviously he matched the Messi assist record. When you match or break the likes of Messi and Ronaldo's record, any of their records, that's legendary itself. And Messi is arguably, for me also, the best playmaker of all time. And Messi's best assist record, best assist season, Michael Olise matched it. That's crazy stuff. That's absolutely crazy stuff. But he didn't win the Champions League or the World Cup, which does hinder him a lot. And when we look at the World Cup, when we look at the Ballon d'Or, there's only been 4 occasions where a player have won the Ballon d'Or without winning either the Champions League or the World Cup in the 21st century. Or at least in the Messi and Ronaldo era. It was Messi in 2019. That was for peak Messi. That was prime Messi. He was carrying a team on his back until nearly in trouble. It was 2013 Ronaldo, which you talked about. He went trophyless. It's 2012 Messi, who scored 91 goals, the most goals ever in a single year. And then it's 2010 Messi, who for a lot of people that was rigged or controversial. But 2010 Messi, he's had the best statistical season since 1972. He scored the most goals in a single year since 1972, Gerd Müller. And when you look at the Spain team, there was no standout player for Spain. A lot of people say Iniesta because he scored the winning goal, but he wasn't even the best. He wasn't even Spain's best player. It was David Villa. And for Inter and Wesley Sneijder, Wesley Sneijder wasn't Inter's best player that season. He wasn't awarded Inter Player of the Year. It was Diego Milito. So they gave it to Messi. But they can also give it to, I mean, they can give it to Michael Olise. He won the league. He was the top assister in 3 different competitions. He has 63 GAs. It's fair enough. It's fair enough. I wouldn't dispute it. Next player is Harry Kane. Harry Kane, 73 goals. Crazy. 8 assists. Most GAs in Europe. He won the Bundesliga, obviously. I mean, he plays for Bayern. You would expect him to win the Bundesliga. He beat Ronaldo's best goal scoring season ever. Michael Olise matched Messi's best assist season. Harry Kane beat, for many, the best goal scorer of all time. He beat his best season. Crazy. I mean, that alone should give him the Balon d'Or. But there are more players. And he had a good World Cup campaign. But the con says he didn't win the Champions League. He didn't win the World Cup. He wasn't Bayern's player of the season. That was Michael Olise. Michael Olise won Bayern player of the season. He won Bundesliga player of the season. So how can Harry Kane, who wasn't the best player in his own team for Bayern Munich, he wasn't the Bundesliga player of the season. How can you not? How can you not even be the best player in your own team but then win the Ballon d'Or? And the same goes with England. For a lot of people, it was Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham was a player of England's player of the tournament, not Harry Kane. So how can you not be the best player in your own team, the best player in your own national team, but then win the Ballon d'Or? But then again, look at these stats. He beat Ronaldo's all-time top scoring season. I mean, you can make the case. You can easily make the case. 73 goals in a season, that's absolutely mental. You can easily make the case. But let's get on to the next player, who is Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. And he, for me, has the most interesting one. And also the most unfortunate player out of all these players. Because he had 21 goals and 10 assists. It's not the most. I think it's the least, except Rodri, who's a midfielder, of course. He won the Champions League. He's the first player who I've mentioned who have won the Champions League. And as you can see, I call it tier 2 because Champions League is tier 2 in this season. The World Cup is tier 1. You always prefer the World Cup. You always look at the World Cup and you base it on that. He was the Champions League player of the season. And obviously he won the League 1 with PSG. You would expect that. Winning the Champions League and being the Champions League player of the season in these past few years, that alone would give you the Ballon d'Or. That would make you minimum top 3. And the unfortunate thing for him is, I mentioned it in my cons, he didn't even play in the World Cup. And that's not his own fault. That's not his fault. He plays for Georgia. Georgia, they don't qualify. With all due respect to Georgia, they don't qualify for the World Cup. And he didn't play in the World Cup. He didn't have the most GAs in the season. And his league influence was quite low. He didn't score the most goals in the league. And yeah, I mean, he's very unfortunate that this is the World Cup season. He's very, very unfortunate. Normally, you could easily say that Kvaratskhelia should win the Ballon d'Or. Before the World Cup started, a lot of people were saying that Kvaratskhelia should win the Ballon d'Or. Now, after the World Cup, not a lot of people are mentioning him, but I'm mentioning him because he does deserve a mention. Then there's Ousmane Dembele. Ousmane Dembele with 26 goals and 12 assists, 38 GAs, which is, it's good. I mean, it's good. We shouldn't disrespect it. It is good. 38 GAs is good. He won the Champions League. He won the League 1, obviously. He was League 1 Player of the Year. I put it in brackets suspect because should he have won the League 1 Player of the Year? Ousmane Dembele is a strike for PSG. Ousmane Dembele scored 10 goals in League 1. And Ousmane Dembele was awarded League 1 Player of the Year. A lot of people are saying that this is just League 1's way of boosting his Ballon d'Or campaign. Because as we know with League 1, they are not serious. Let's just be honest. League 1 are not serious. They are very happy to move their games. They're very happy to have a title decider game and move it just for PSG to win the Champions League. That's just how League 1 is. So I believe League 1 gave it to Dembele just because they thought that let's make a League 1 player win the Ballon d'Or. He also had a good World Cup campaign. Obviously, he scored 6 goals. But the con is he didn't win a World Cup. That's just how it is. I mean, he won the Champions League. He didn't win the World Cup. World Cup is ranked higher than the Champions League. He wasn't PSG's best Champions League player. I mean, the reason you would say Dembele should win the Ballon d'Or is because Dembele won the Champions League. Okay, but he didn't win it alone. He won it as a team. So who was the best player in that team? It was Kvaratskhelia. It wasn't Dembele. So how can you give it to Dembele but not Kvaratskhelia? But then you say he played in the World Cup, and that's why it's a preference thing. That's why I can't tell you no Kvaratskhelia should win it, and you tell me no Ousmane Dembele should win it, and one of us is right. None of us are right. It's subjective. It's preferences. And he also had an injury-filled season. He only played 22 league games, which also tells me how can you win La Liga Player of the League One Player of the Year when you only play 22 league games and score 10 goals. Next player is Rodri. And with Rodri, I didn't put his GAs because he's a midfielder. I mean, we don't want to count GAs for a midfielder, especially at 6. Well, Rodri is the first player I've mentioned who won the World Cup. And that's the biggest thing out of them all. And the second biggest thing, or arguably the biggest thing, even bigger than winning the World Cup, is winning the World Cup Golden Ball. And I've also written here, historically, Ballon d'Or awards favors Rodri. And let me give you some Ballon d'Or lore. 1994, Brazil won the World Cup. I believe Romario was the best player in the World Cup. They back then in 1994 they didn't give the Ballon d'Or to a non-European player. It was a European award only. So they didn't give Romario the Ballon d'Or. And they saw how big of a disgrace that was. So in the following year, in 1995, they opened it to the rest of the world, which then they gave it to George Weah, who was, it was a bit suspect. I don't think he deserved it. Looking at the stats, obviously, I wasn't alive back then. But 1994, Romario was a clear winner for the Ballon d'Or if it could be given to a non-European player. 1998, Champions League winner was Real Madrid. World Cup winner was France. David Zucker was the best player for Real Madrid, and he came second place in the Ballon d'Or. Who came first place? It was Zinedine Zidane. Why? Because he won the World Cup, and he was arguably France's best player in that World Cup. 2002, R9, Brazil. Brazil won the World Cup. R9, he didn't even play 20 games across the entire year. He pulled up to the World Cup, had his little haircut, scored 8 goals, won the World Cup, and then he won the Ballon d'Or. Why? Because he won the World Cup. They just looked past his entire season. And then Oliver Kahn, he won the Golden Ball in the World Cup. And then you saw a goalkeeper getting second place. How often do you see a goalkeeper get top 3? We saw it there. Oliver Kahn got second place in the World Cup because he won the Golden Ball in the World Cup. He won World Cup best player. And R9 won the Ballon d'Or because he won the World Cup regarding his season, regarding his entire year. Go to 2006. Italy won the World Cup. Cannavaro, who plays for Italy, won the World Cup Golden Ball. And then you saw a defender. I mean, I can't even remember a defender winning the Ballon d'Or except Beckenbauer. Cannavaro won the Ballon d'Or because he won the World Cup and he won the Golden Ball in the World Cup. And then he won the Ballon d'Or because of that. Let's go to 2010. 2010 was interesting because you saw Inter win the treble. Inter winning a treble. But Ballon d'Or looked past that. They looked at Spain winning the World Cup. And they included 2 Spanish players in the top 3. But then you look at the Spain team. Who was the best player for Spain? There was no clear-cut best player for Spain. I mean, a lot of people look at Iniesta because he scored the winning goal. A lot of people say Xavi. A lot of people say David Villa, who did win the bronze ball. Because the World Cup 2010, Diego Forlan won the best player of the tournament. Wesley Sneijder won the silver ball. And David Villa won the bronze ball. But they even looked past the Inter treble. They valued a World Cup win more than a treble. And then Messi won. I mentioned it before. He had the best statistical season in 40, 50 years. So he won the Ballon d'Or. And then we also go to 2014. Ronaldo won the Champions League. He was the best player in the Champions League. He was a top scorer. And Messi had a weak year. Let's just be honest. That was one of Messi's weaker year. He won the best player in the tournament. He got second place. But who got third place? A goalkeeper. Why? He played for Germany. And Germany won the World Cup. So again, you see a goalkeeper getting top 3 because of a World Cup. 2018, Modric won the Golden Ball. Ronaldo had the best year. If we look at it, Ronaldo should have, before the World Cup started, Ronaldo was the clear-cut winner for the Ballon d'Or. The World Cup started, Modric won the Player of the Tournament, and he won the Ballon d'Or ahead of Ronaldo. That's how much they value the Ballon. That's how much they value the World Cup and the Golden Ball in the World Cup. 2022, Lionel Messi, City, they won the triple. Haaland, he's broke all sorts of goal-scoring records. Messi coming in, winning the World Cup, having an all-time campaign. Let's just be honest. Yeah, he had an all-time campaign. He won the best player of the tournament, and then he won the Ballon d'Or. Why? Because they value the Ballon d'Or. They value the World Cup. And it's the same with 2026. Rodri won the tournament and he won the best player of the tournament. Historically, we should say that Rodri should win it. Historically, like, remove my preferences, remove who I personally think should win it. Historically, if you look at Ballon d'Or and if you look at how they give out the Ballon d'Ors, Rodri should win it. But his cons, I mean, that was a long talk. His cons, he didn't win the Champions League, he didn't win the Premier League, and he had an injury-filled season just like Dembele, and he only played like 21 league games. But he won the World Cup and he won the Golden Ball. Lastly, Lamine Yamal for the Ballon d'Or. 25 goals, 20 assists. He won the World Cup. Lamine Yamal won the World Cup. He was La Liga. He won the La Liga, which it's not like League One or Bundesliga where you play for Bayern and PSG. You're playing against Atletico Madrid, playing against Real Madrid. He won La Liga Player of the Year, or Player of the Season, and he had a good Champions League campaign. He scored 6 goals and 4 assists, which is very good for a winger if you look at it statistically. And he nearly dragged Barcelona to a semi-final. I mean, Barca against Atletico, that was all Lamine Yamal. The players, I mean, I remember Fermin Lopez missing chances, Dan Yomo missing chances, Ferran Torres missing chances. That was all Lamine Yamal. He nearly dragged Barcelona to a Champions League semi-final. The only bad thing you could say about Lamine Yamal, because he has done everything right. He's got the GAs. He's won the World Cup. He was the player of the season for his league. The only bad thing he's done is having a weak World Cup campaign. And I'm a Barca fan. I can happily admit that Lamine Yamal was very disappointing in the World Cup. And you could say that, I mean, he came in injured. He was injured for 3 months and then he came back and played in the World Cup. So you can give that excuse. But it's the truth still. It's the truth still. So who do I think should win the Ballon d'Or? Or who do I think will win the Ballon d'Or according to how Ballon d'Ors are given? I think it's between 2 players. And I think it's between these 2 players. And it's purely because of the World Cup. It's purely because of the World Cup. Who do I think should win it, like, personally? Then it's between Lamine Yamal and Harry Kane. And Harry Kane because of his freak season. That's a freak season. That's a Messi Ronaldo type season because of that. And Lamine Yamal because he's done everything right in the books except the World Cup campaign. And with Harry Kane, he's done everything correctly except not winning a major trophy. But look, you have pros and cons with everyone. And I want to say again, please don't call it rigged. Please, if a player who you think should win it doesn't win it, please don't say it's rigged. There's preferences. I think these 2 will win it, but Harry Kane might win it. Kylian Mbappe might win it. Michael Olise might win it. Hell, even maybe Kvaratskhelia will win it. Just don't call it rigged. Anyway, let me know who you guys think will win it in the Ballon d'Or and in the comments down below. And who do you think should win it and who do you want to win? Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel or follow the TikTok. So yeah, take care, guys. Bye. Oh, I can't even end the video now. There we go.